Space Shuttle, this is flight safety. Keep your hands on the handrail or inside the vehicle and remain seated while in motion. You are clear for launch. Have a great flight to Starport 75.
Hey, Glenn.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
I'm good. I'm gonna get you upset at me right off the bat.
Uh-oh, why?
I'm already gonna go on a tangent. You told me keep it tight. Let's do this thing. Let's keep the show short. Got things to do. Mm-hmm. But I'm already gonna go off the rails.
Oh, all right.
Because I have a question for you.
Okay. And
it's one I've been wanting to ask you for a long, long time, and I just I keep forgetting or I can't build up the courage or whatever. Anyway, it's fall time, and down here in Florida, the leaves are all changing, and it's the frosts on the pumpkin and so forth. It's that time of year.
Uh-huh.
And one of the big things everybody's talking about is pumpkin spice flavorings. At the Starbucks, etc. And this is a pretty polarizing flavor, I've come to learn. That it seems like there are a lot of people that are like fanatical about loving this flavor, and others that despise it. And I'm just like, I wonder which end of that. And I know you're not a huge coffee drinker, at least I don't think.
Right.
Or Starbucks drinker, but they put it in like everything now. So I'm just curious, where are you in the big pumpkin spice debate?
That's a good question. Because I think last year I saw a recipe for pumpkin ice cream. And so I said, hey, why don't we make some pumpkin ice cream? That sounds good. And, we can see what it's like. Yeah, none of us were big fans of it. And I've tasted, like, Tammy gets, she'll get it once in a blue moon, and I'll taste it, and, like a coffee or whatever. And I'm not, I like pumpkin pie. But I don't love pumpkin spice. No, I'm not a huge fan. Every now and then, okay, but no, I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I used to be in that camp. I'm like not a huge fan. I'm actually now in the detest the flavor kind of camp.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I thanks to my friend Andrew, I hope I can call him my friend. Oh, I'll call him my friend. Thanks to my friend Andrew, he explained to me the key point that I think is why I despise it. Because I love pie. I love, like, pumpkin pie is my favorite. It's my favorite dessert, at least one of the top three.
Okay.
So I love pumpkin, like your point about pumpkin ice cream. But he pointed out to me that pumpkin spice is only the spice flavors. There's no actual pumpkin flavor. And I'm like, well, once he said that, I'm like, okay, now I understand why I hate this thing so much.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know why that was burning on the top of my mind, but that probably just because I went to Starbucks a little earlier, and they have 17 different things you can get with pumpkin spice. And I was just curious.
No,
I know you're a foodie.
I will say that we watched some YouTube videos, and apparently Deluxe Burger at Disney Springs.
Okay.
They have a pumpkin milkshake.
Oh, so that sounds good though.
What it's it's been described as they pretty much put a piece of pumpkin pie in there and blend it up. So it's not just a spice; it's actually So you get there's actually the flavor of a pumpkin pie. So that I could absolutely go for.
Yeah, I just you just filled in my weekend plans for me. Thank you. I know what I'm doing now.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that I could totally go for.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Whew. I'm glad we worked that out. And we can talk more about Epcot in a minute, but this actually ties into one of my trips because I was at a store, a Mouse Gear, I guess. It was a Mouse Gear. And somebody's like, talking to a cast member who was ringing up my purchase, and they're like, "Is the Starbucks closed?" And she's like, "Oh yeah," and he's like, "Is there nowhere I could get any Starbucks?" And she's like, "Yeah, not really." She's like, "We have a jaw freeze," and he said, "What's a jaw freeze?" So it just reminded me of the conversations we've had before about coffee and in the parks. Anyway,
since we're talking about this, what about jaw freeze? Have you ever had it? What do you think?
I don't think I ever have had a jaw freeze. I take that back. I feel like I have, but I don't remember when it was. So I'll just say that I didn't because I couldn't tell you anything about it. But I don't know. I don't know. It's coffee.
when I do drink coffee, I like it sweet. It almost has to be.
Yeah,
dessert,
that's not coffee. That's
it's delicious. So I
only drink coffee if a piece of pumpkin pie is blended into it.
So I have gotten Joffrey's a couple times.
One
time in the parks. One time in Tomorrowland, I got the Mission to S'mores coffee.
See, that's the thing. It seems like that's mostly what they have. Is that I can't drink.
I loved it. So I'm like, hey, why y'all going to Starbucks? Go to Joffrey's.
See, my normal coffee is black coffee. I might put some cream in it if I just need to cut it a little bit, but it's usually just straight coffee.
Really?
So, yeah. So like once you start throwing desserts into it, that's not me. But no, that man was very sad to find. But then he asked her. He's like, "Well, where's the Joffrey's?" Like in a desperation, and she's like, she didn't even know. She's like, "I think it's I don't know." She couldn't even say. I'm like, "How do you not know that?" But
number one, where is the Joffrey's in Epcot? I can't.
Well, I don't know because the cast member didn't know either. So,
and then number two, isn't it weird that
actually no, I know where it is. People are yelling at us right now. I think I know where it is.
Okay,
I think it's that little kiosk that is over by Mission Space and the former Universe of Energy. There's like a little kiosk over there.
Oh,
if
you're
it's
right.
Still there,
right? Yeah, I think so.
Across from the splash pad thing, if that's still there. I don't get over to that corner much anymore because there's no reason to. Yeah.
Okay.
Joffrey's.
And then isn't it weird that they have Joffrey's and Starbucks in the same?
Yes.
It's like having Pepsi and Coke, like Pepsi sponsoring Country Bear Jamboree and Coke sponsoring everything else.
Yeah. Well, what was even weirder to me than that was they took all the Starbucks merch out of Fountain View, and they had a display of it in Mouse Gear, which
really?
just seemed wrong because I mean Starbucks is just kind of and I'm not. Please don't misunderstand. I'm not like lobbying Starbucks as like an amazing coffee house, just the most convenient, decent coffee around. Because it's all over. But anyway, it's weird because I connect with that brand so much in normal life to see like a display of merchandise for Starbucks in a shop that is normally only Disney related merchandise is kind of a little weird. But
I gotta say though, I do love their mugs.
The ones from the different they're too big, man. You could fit a you could use that for like a sauna, a spa for a small family.
My goodness. Okay. All right. No.
You're talking about the ones from like the different locations?
Yeah,
like,
the You Are Here ones?
Yeah, they're gigantic.
Yes, that's fine.
How else are you going to fit your pumpkin pie in there?
That's right. Absolutely. You got that right.
All right, I guess so. I do like it, but I feel like we've talked about this before. I wish I had a time machine. What am I trying to say? I didn't expect that they would keep going with that program. I thought they were going to come out with some and then stop. But now I've been to, mostly for work, but I've been to so many locations where I've gone to a Starbucks where I'm like, man, if I had just picked up one in each of those places, I'd have a pretty nice collection of those.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I don't. You have a bunch from from the parks and stuff, right?
Yeah, I have. Yes, I do. So I have. Now, the designs now are different than when I got them. So
that's right.
But yeah, so I have the original design from Disneyland, California Adventure. I got those when we went there in 2016. And then I got on, different trips at Disney World, I got all four. Although I had to say my sister-in-law helped me out with, I think, Animal Kingdom. I didn't have that one because I didn't go there. And so she got me that one on a trip. But actually, thanks to her too, I have one of the newer Epcot and Hollywood Studios ones too. So,
wow,
yeah.
My house. My wife says we have a mug problem.
No,
but I've argued with that. I said no. What we have is a cabinet problem.
Yes.
So it just kind of depends on how you look at things. But
that's right. I actually a few months ago I had to reinforce my cabinet. No, I did.
You did not.
Seriously, I
Are
did.
You kidding me?
Yeah, it was sagging, and
oh my God.
And so I think it actually did. Did something fall? I don't know. Something we definitely had to take action, and so so I had to go to Lowe's and get brackets and screw them into the studs, and so now I can really load in a ton of a bunch more mugs.
Well, if you get a storage place somewhere, you can really get a ton of those.
Yeah.
Huh.
So.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Well, no, I do know what it is. I actually like them more than buying shirts and stuff, just because because my wife asked me. We saw one that had like 2019 on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that looks nice. And she said, but you don't like park stuff that has the year on it. And I'm like, oh, that's true. I don't. And I had to kind of analyze myself. And what I realized it is I don't like shirts with the year on it.
Yes.
But mugs are fine. And I think the reason is shirts wear out. And so like you wear it over time. And if you keep wearing your 2019 and now it's 2021, I don't know. It seems weird. But a mug is a more stable kind of memento of that year. Because like I have cruise ones from like 2005 and stuff. And I don't know. I have different rules for different merch, I guess.
No, I'm with you. I agree on that. And like shirts, I'm with you. Like you buy the 2019 shirt, if you wear it next year, it's like, yeah, that's old.
Yeah.
Right? But
nice.
But if you buy it and then put it in your drawer and then 10 years later, like take it out, then you're cool. It's like, hey.
I haven't experienced that with park stuff too much. I went to an Apple Tech conference once.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was a guy there. He'd been in the Apple world for a long time. He had a conference shirt from from Next. I'm getting into the whole other world here, but from for like before the resurgence of Apple, from like the mid '90s or something. And they're like, okay, that's like old school cool there.
Yeah.
But I guess if you had a shirt from like, if I still had my Epcot shirt from '83.
Yeah.
And I could still fit into it. That's the other problem. Then that would be cool to wear.
Yes.
What's the oldest shirt you have that has a date on it from the parks?
So I still have my shirts from the 25th anniversary.
Oh, nice. I bet I do in the back of the closet somewhere. I don't think I can fit into them, but I bet I have them. Huh? Yeah, they would have. Remember the castle cake?
It has the castle cake on it.
Oh man!
Actually, it's the October 1st date on it because we were there that day.
God, that was such. Oh, you were there that day?
Yeah, man.
See, we weren't there then. We had to catch like I guess technically we were actually out of it. Remember they ran it for like a year and a half because they really wanted to get their money's worth out of it. So we were there October '97.
Okay.
So just kind of at the tail end. Well, yeah, I guess it was like the very end of it. But we saw. But man, that castle cake was so. I mean, you think like politics is divisive today? Man, that castle cake.
I know. Even today, like still, like you
that.
See comments like, "Oh, my 50th is coming up. They better not paint the castle."
No, screw that. They better do it. I want them to just
what I say.
bring out the old inflatables and set it back up again.
Do it.
I hated it at the time though.
Me too.
But now I look back at those pictures because it was our honeymoon trip.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, because it was a moment in time.
Yeah, and I hated it so much I didn't take many pictures of it. And now I'm looking back, I'm like, oh man, I only have a couple, a couple decent ones of it, and that's it. Like,
Yeah, I took those are like my last trip on film. Mm-hmm. Maybe I had one more after that, but then I started to switch to digital. Yeah, how did we get on this? Sorry, man. It's a tangent.
I like this is a good conversation.
I gotta unwind this a little bit. Yeah, castle cake. I wonder if anybody's listening to us don't know what that is, but it's easy to find, right? But they put up a whole bunch of inflatables and painted. And I remember when they painted it back, like they put one coat on it, but you could still see the pink through it, and they had to go back and put another coat of the blue gray on there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. For
many years after that, you could go to the back of the castle.
Oh yeah, you could see a little
off to the side, and
it
would chip off, and you'd see this pink blotch, and it's like, come on, guys, really?
Yeah, but now I want to go on a hunt. Well, it's probably not.
No, I think I think around 2007, 8, somewhere in there, I think they really like stripped it and
sandblasted
repainted it. Yeah,
you know what it was is probably when they started the projection stuff. They probably really started. No, sounds like
they could, because they now have if you go back look at pictures of the castle, now they like the bricks they've really colored more of a toward the bottom more of a earthy color and not just a plain gray and white.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
So I think it was when they did that they really.
I'm gonna go look next time I'm there. I'm gonna go look though.
Yeah, there you go.
But I feel like I haven't been there forever. I feel like I am imprisoned at Epcot.
Well, you have an incentive to go to Epcot.
Well, but it's yes,
but it's
coasters. Also somewhat artificial. Yeah, so You want to hear what's latest in my Epcot adventures of 20? Where are we at? 2019.
Yeah, of course. That's why we're talking.
I gotta get to 4 visits, right, to get the coasters.
Yes, right.
So I've been 3 times. It's not just the coasters now, and because it's almost Glenn. I swear they planned it this way. They planned the careful. They planned the magnets, like they spaced them out just enough that because I don't want to go back to Epcot again, honestly. Like we've been 3 times now for Food and Wine. Mm-hmm. Partly I'm making up for last year because I think we went 1 time. Yeah. Because I had just broken my leg or whatever, and so that was it. So I'm kind of making up for that. But I'm like, man, I don't want to go back to Epcot. But I need my coasters, and we need the next magnet.
That's right. It came out. Actually, came out yesterday.
Oh, I know. And guess what? I was there last weekend. So
I know.
Well, wasn't even. I think we would have skipped last weekend, except we had made arrangements long ago to get a sitter for the kids. So I'm like, I'm not going to pass up that opportunity. So. It was nice. We went out and had the sitter for the kids so the idea was just we would do Food and Wine without having to to take care of children, which you probably don't know this, but they take a lot of attention. Children.
What? Do they?
This will sound weird to say, but what am I trying to say? Last time we went, and we had the kids, and we went all the way around World Showcase. It took, I think I told you, partly we were doing that stupid scavenger hunt thing that took forever.
Stupid.
Stupid in quotes. I liked it. Which apparently a lot of other people are doing too. I saw a lot of people with the folder thing with the stickers. Anyway, so this time it was just my wife and I, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm trying to plan out because we got to be back by a certain time because the sitter has to go, blah blah blah. So I'm trying to figure out our pace around World Showcase, and man, we practically made a run through that thing because we didn't have any kids to tie us down. So
yeah,
but we went back, and nothing too momentous. It was really just kind of like take a breath, relax a little bit.
Sure.
What did I do? What was exciting this time, though, was we went to the Epcot Experience.
Yeah.
Is that the right name for that? Do I have that right?
Yes.
Man, if there's any way you could see that in person, you really should. Mm-hmm. It is. I was more impressed by it than I thought it was going to be. And I know it's just a reuse of the thing they did for D23, but it's an impressive little room. I mean, they have, because it's a 360 kind of projection thing, right? Yeah. And in the middle, they have the model of Epcot, like a stylized model of Epcot. Mm-hmm. And they project all the stuff on it, and they go through and they talk about all the stuff. I know I'm just explaining for all the others.
Sure.
And they go through all the kind of the big things that are coming to Epcot. If you look for D23 Epcot, whatever, I'm sure you find it. Mm-hmm. But it is it's way more impressive than I thought it was. And the technology, like I'm looking up, and there had to have been 25 4K projectors hanging from the ceiling because it's a whole in a circle, plus the projections on the Epcot map all linked together.
Yeah,
it was really cool.
Yeah, and they didn't have all that projection mapping at D23 or the scenes because they announced everything the last day of D23. So you would go in and look at the thing, and I think it would highlight it, like it just shine like a green light on like the Moana thing. But they didn't say anything because they couldn't, because it was
they didn't do the announcement.
So that's the same map, but but all the other stuff is for that experience.
Yeah, so I really liked it. It's like a little mini museum. They had some things of stuff that's coming up, I guess, for Epcot, like little like for whatever Guardians of the Galaxy. They had like a couple of props from the movie and stuff. And the one thing I didn't expect was they have like 4 photo pass things. Have you seen this? So we only did one of them just because it was just the one where I was standing on top of Spaceship Earth.
Yeah, good.
I just I'm not gonna let the world see me in that one, but so we did that. But it's a tiny thing, meaning there's we only spent 20 minutes or so there, but pretty impressive. So it made me like really get excited again for all the changes that are coming. Yeah. And one thing in particular that really, and I think it's because they had a scale model of it there, is the festival center they're going to build. That like 2-story thing with the park on the top and the area underneath. I'm really excited about that. I just, kind of seeing it and then in like model form and then being in the park to kind of look, okay, what's going to go there and be like a 2-story thing. Cause you don't really get, everything at Epcot's kind of ground level, right? There's not really, there's no variation. There's no, not too many things you'd go, if at all, right? Well, I guess Test Track kind of up in the air for that. But anyway, just to have that sort of, Z-axis kind of experience with Epcot. There'd probably be some neat views and stuff from up there. So I'm looking forward to that.
The monorail.
Yeah, but I don't get to experience that much because I almost never take the monorail from the TTC. So.
True.
Yeah, but you're right. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
But yeah, it does look really cool. And it's really going to be 3 stories because you're going to have the lower, and then the middle will be that'll be the actual festival center, and then the third floor is where they're going to have all the trees and everything, and they're going to have the fireworks viewing up there.
Oh, for a price,
I'm sure, for some kind of either fast pass or price
DVC
or
special.
Yeah,
DVC benefit.
Oh, yeah. Don't
You're welcome. Did you ever think about joining DVC?
That's so weird. I haven't really, I really need to have somebody explain it to me and go through the sales pitch with me.
Yeah, almost every time I'm at the park and I see one of those booths, I'm like, I feel like there's got to be a way I can make this make sense for me, but I never can. Anyway,
I tell the kids, don't be suckered by the stickers. Don't do it.
It's funny
That's
you say
how
that.
We got suckered in last time.
I intentionally went up to one and I'm like, I need some. Do you have any stickers? I don't remember what we needed it for, but actually there were special food and wine stickers. I don't know where they are. Oh. Anyway, I don't know how I got on that. Yeah, so I'm really excited about. It's been like an Epcot kind of month. It's kind of ever since D23 announcements and stuff and food and wine, and so we've been spending a lot of time there. But the construction is, boy, is it crazy. Yeah. And I know what I was going to tell you, and I won't be able to relate this, so we can cut it out or whatever. But it's the most. I don't know if you've seen any mention of it on the YouTubes and Twitters. I bet you have. But it's the most asinine thing. So, they have these trams at the Disney World.
Yes.
And I didn't realize this, and it completely screwed up my whole parking plan. But, normally you take the tram from the parking lot, and it goes winds its way around and then drops you off right at the front where the bag check stuff is. I didn't realize that whatever they're doing, they have ripped up and closed off that whole area. So the trams run from the back of the parking lot to, I don't know how to relate it, like 15 rows back.
Okay.
All right. So, I mean, Glenn, I'm not a sports guy. I think I could successfully throw a football from the farthest point the tram goes to where it drops you off. Like we literally, we were joking on the tram that we got on the tram and the time it took for it to get us back and kind of go around the loop to drop us off, the people that walked beat us there. It's like, well, why? Yeah. Like, don't even bother with the tram. It's a farce. Have you seen anything? Have people talked about this?
I mean, not really. Just that there's the construction going on.
But it's almost like if you're still running the same tram, and they had multiple trams running, but they ran for 1,000 feet.
Yeah, I mean, that's silly.
It's kind of ridiculous.
The tram at Epcot is, it's not, because the parking lot's right there. Like, it's, I rarely take the tram at Epcot. Most of the other parks I do, but whatever it is, Epcot, it's just like, I can see the cars. Like, I can just go. It's like right there.
I know, but here, to defend my position, we didn't have the kids with us, so I didn't have a stroller. I didn't have a backpack. I didn't take my big camera. I had myself. I was like, I get to go through the guests without bags line that I never get to do. So for me, I was like, I get to hop on a tram and have it drop me right off at bag check and not even have to go through bag checks. And so I was looking forward to that. And instead, I had to do all that walking. Anyway, it just seemed kind of ridiculous. Like, why even bother running them at all at that point? Yeah.
Well, it does look like the construction for the actual tram lane is pretty much complete. They just need to finish the construction all around it to support it. So,
what are they even doing there? Like, I didn't even know they were making changes to that.
Yeah, so You know where the tram used to let you off?
Sure.
How it would go, you would take a hard right and
it would circle
go
around.
under the monorail station.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're not going to do that anymore. So what it's going to do is they built a loop. So it's
that makes more sense.
like the head of a pin. And so you go, you'll come up and then you'll stop on one side, let everybody out, and then it'll continue on. They'll probably have loading on the other side.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like a Daytona.
Yeah, actually, a lot like Daytona.
Nobody will get that reference, but yeah. But yeah, okay. I guess it makes sense. Yeah, because it was a kind of a long drive to just kind of go down to the right and then loop around. But anyway, so I was just, I was like, man, I just want to ride the tram and not have to do all this work.
Yeah.
I don't think I have too much else to report. We went around the countries. I think I mentioned before the fried hummus fries, whatever they call that in Morocco. Yeah. So good, man, so good. The second time we had those. We went back and had those meatless burgers again. Oh, I know what are you laughing about?
You really love those things.
They were great. And I think I like because they got like wasabi mayonnaise on it and stuff, which I love wasabi. But I did try, mostly just so I could report back to you, I did try the frothy ramen
oh my goodness. Okay. And what's the verdict?
Have you heard about this frothy ramen?
I've heard about it and I've seen it in video.
and you wish you could try it?
I don't know how you could pay me to try that. So I want to know from you, what, how was it? What did it taste like?
You know, what's funny is like, it is, how do I explain this? Before having it, I'm like, I can't imagine what this is going to taste like. But then when I ate it, I'm like, this is exactly what I expected it to taste like. So, I don't know. It's like, I mean, you've had ramen before, like ramen soup. And like, so it's beef flavored, which I don't know why that's the one that I wasn't expecting to be like beef flavored. I thought more like chicken or something. But anyway, so imagine you whip up a bowl of beef ramen, and then you put it in the fridge, and then you go back and you eat it.
Okay, and isn't there like some kind of topping on it?
Yeah, but I did what they recommend on the YouTubes I watched, which is to kind of mix it up before you have it. Okay. So I think that was more for visual effect than actual taste adjustments. But
all right.
So,
and where was that? Japan or?
Yeah, Japan. Where else would it be? Japan.
Well, China. It was all.
No, I got that. Yeah, Japan. So I had that.
Okay.
I don't think I had anything much different.
Interesting.
We hit our usual. So it was nice, but
cool.
What?
I mean, that's cool that you tried something different.
Yeah, I did. I almost didn't, but I'm like, nah, I'm here. I'm not going to do it again. So, and I won't do it again. I think that was it. Oh, they this isn't. I don't think it's part of Food and Wine. Did you know they totally redid? Let me back up. My wife and I are suckers for frozen Cokes at the parks.
Yes.
I don't know why we always. Man, we really want those there. Did you know they completely redid the Cool Wash, which is that thing over by Test Track?
Yeah.
See, you know too much. This is the thing. I can't report anything to you because you're like, well, yeah, I saw that on YouTube.
Well,
yeah, I saw it on YouTube.
I did, but that doesn't mean our listeners know about it.
Well, and I'm wondering, by the way you said that, if this is another contentious change. But I think I like what they did. So basically, it used to be just you'd walk up, and there was like a little car in the middle of it, and there's like these spray jets and things that like cool you off, which my son's going to be disappointed to find out. Those are all gone. So they took out the car, and they just put some tables in the middle. And instead of it just being a plain, you walk up and say, I want a frozen Coke or Powerade or whatever, now it's like this whole experience thing where there's 4 or 5 different flavors of frozen things. And they hand you a little piece of paper, and you like check off, you make your own concoction out of it. Like, I want, Coke with watermelon and banana, which is what I got, by the way, and it was delicious. Which seems relatively benign. Here's where the part where it just kind of goes off the rails a little bit. At the end, you can pick toppings for this thing. Okay. You didn't know that, did you?
No.
This is the most unique part. So one of the toppings, which kind of makes sense, is boba pearls. Do you know those things? Yeah, people getting boba teas. I like those. So I got those because that seemed like, okay, well, that kind of goes with the whole idea. But you can do those, or you can do like these little gummy candies.
Okay.
Or you can get, what else was there? I'm trying to say the other one for last. I don't know. There was another thing. Or you can get Pop Rocks.
Oh my god! Okay.
Remember Pop Rocks from?
I'm well aware of Pop Rocks.
Oh,
yes.
I loved Pop Rocks. They were so good. I didn't even know they were still around.
They're
honestly.
still around.
Anyway, so there's like 4 of these candy toppings you can get on top of your frozen Coke concoction, which, as you might guess, there's a lot of sugar already in the frozen Coke part. Mm-hmm. And then so to add in another topping. And now I think they intend for you to pick like a topping. There's no limit to it. It doesn't have a limit. Multiple people in front of me got every topping. And I'm like, how do you even, like, do you carry around your own insulin, like, to get through? Right. Like, I don't even know how you do that. The bobas. I'm not just being judgmental. I'm like, man, that's a lot of candy on top of candy.
Yeah, no kidding.
So anyway, I thought it was kind of neat. It was really, it's and this is something that Disney is amazing at. When it was just the car wash thing, there would almost be nobody there, and sometimes it wasn't even open. It was like very rare. Glenn, there was a line of 20 people to go through and do that. Like just a simple change. Like it's relatively the same thing, but they kind of retool a little bit, make it a little fancier, make it so you pick your own thing, and then suddenly everybody's like, yeah, I need that. But price-wise, it was no different. It was $6 for a thing, so I think that's pretty much what they charged before, so without toppings.
Cool.
It's kind of funny, though, with the we noticed the cast member that does the toppings, anytime they'd have to do Pop Rocks, if somebody ordered, they had to put on safety glasses, like you'd wear on like a construction site or something. Those things are dangerous. They didn't seem to mind too much. Anyway, and there's a donut place next to it.
Yeah, the donut box.
Yeah, yes. Man, you were up on your news.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't try any donuts because they're donuts. But they're cute. They come in these like little half paper bag things, whatever. I don't know. Is there a story with that? Is that a brand or something, or that's just a Disney original?
I don't know. I don't think it's a brand, but I'm not 100% sure about that. No, I think it's just a place to sell fancy donuts.
Okay. Is that a permanent thing? I couldn't tell by looking at whether it was permanent or part of Food and Wine.
I think they used to sell like pizza and stuff out of that. Like their horrible Disney pizza.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that structure at all. Actually.
Yeah. There was a structure, but I think they overlaid the current, donut box facade over it.
Theming. Okay.
But yeah, there was a food.
Wow, I guess I'd never even registered that. Okay. Huh. It was very popular too. A ton of people there, which and not even us, we're not out there that early. I mean, it was, by the time we were over there, it was mid-afternoon, and people were just going to town on the donuts, which I've never once been in Epcot. I'm like, man, I need a donut.
Yeah, no, I know I love donuts, but
what's not
a theme park's not the place generally that I'm
really
craving
popular.
A donut.
People were lined up there.
Yeah, well, but it's new, and Disney, the Disney nuts or anything new, they flock to, and so that they can Instagram it and YouTube.
Oh, let me tell you. Can I be an old man for a second? Can I please be a old man for a second?
Please. That's why we're here.
Is that why we're here? I gotta vent, man. I have to vent. I have been seeing so many people at the parks now, clearly doing their staged Instagram photos, whether it was food from the countries, the pink purple wall, whatever the thing is at Spaceship Earth, so much where people are, I don't know, I'm just whining to whine, but it's one thing if you're like, oh, I want to take my picture of my frothy noodles, because that's different. But if I'm staging it, I'm getting the light just right, and I'm fixing my hair, and I'm doing there's a whole different level when you start producing your photo that way, because you're trying to create your story on Instagram. It's to a point where it's a little nauseating, and a lot of them weren't just people that are there enjoying their vacation. There were a lot of those people doing that you could tell they're like, I'm going to be an influencer.
That's their job, of course.
Yeah, but it's obnoxious, Glenn.
So, in all seriousness.
Yeah, easy for you to say.
Yeah, I know, right? Who was taking their picture, and what were they taking their picture with? And I'm being serious about this, because these people, because I follow a lot of them on Instagram.
So you're part of the problem.
Well, apparently I am, I guess, because I just want to see pretty pictures of Disney, and like they'll sucker me in with, like, they'll have a couple good shots of, like, the castle or whatever.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I'll follow this person. And then, it's like, oh, here's my Joffrey's mission to s'mores coffee, and I'm looking away, and I look so beautiful, and
right.
And so what I'm thinking of is,
So you follow me, is
who's taking this picture? Because it's not a selfie. Like, who does the poor boyfriend have to do this?
Oh, I see.
Or
everything I
do they
noted-
have a photographer with them? And I'm being serious, because a lot of these look very professional and polished, and I don't know if they're, how are they getting these photos?
I have a theory that since I'm there mostly on the weekends, I'm not seeing the pros there. I'm seeing the pro wannabes.
Yeah.
Everybody I saw, they were doing, or they're just crafting it for their own circle of friends to show, because they were all taking with their own phones, maybe two friends together, a boyfriend, girlfriend. I mean, but it wasn't just like if my family and I would do a selfie, it's just a real quick, hey, let's do, that fountain's going away, let's do a selfie in front of the fountain, and just
sure.
Click and stuff. But when people start like, oh wait, let me get my brush and do my hair and like get everything staged, it's just a little too staged, and it's like, come on, can't you just whatever. I'm just sound like an old man, but it's a little too much. So I got to teach my brain to just start ignoring those people, because I register it too much. I see them and I go, oh, I know what they're doing. What they're doing. And anyway, so I didn't do anything. I don't even think I shared any. Oh, you know what? Contrary to my complaining, I am trying to understand Instagram stories better. Not to be an influencer or whatever, but just to be able to like share with you and others as I'm kind of doing things. So I don't know if you saw them, but I put a couple things in a story.
I did not.
See, you didn't know. Thanks a lot, man. Anyway.
Well, no, because it didn't. It shows who.
Yeah, they're kind of temporal, I guess, too.
Yeah. So I have to go. I think I have to go to yours because.
Oh, it won't be there. Now,
look,
aren't they?
First one, our friend Sean. He pops up first.
Yeah, Mr. Spencer.
Because I look at all of his photos and stories and everything else, because he has good photos and they're interesting. But you don't have any, so you're not showing up, man.
Man, I tried. What's your take on the? Can you? Because I'll ask you later about it. But it's like, can you get with Instagram? Because there's a debate on like, can you just post pictures? Because I want to post pictures as I go, like into my feed.
Yeah.
But then I do want to go back and make a story out of it. But I know some people get pissy if you put the same pictures and video in a story that you already put in your regular feed.
I'll be honest. So two things. Number one is I've never done a story, so I honestly don't even know how to do a story. But number two, I think, in all seriousness, I think it's two different audiences. Because I think there are people that will go in and just look at the stories and just keep going all the way through, and then they shut down Instagram. And then there's others who look at the photos. So I think they're just covering. Because I see that honestly with Sean a lot. He does a really good job of, he posts the picture he wants to post in the Instagram feed, but then in his story, like he'll post that same picture, but then like the next one. He'll give a little info about it, or how it was taken, or where, or what time. It was something interesting. So it's slightly different than just this exact same thing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe I need to look at it that way. So,
yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so it's a little irksome, but I just need to not pay attention and get over with. But anyway, so that was kind of it. It was time for mom and dad to have some time to just not be mom and dad for a while.
Yeah.
But I have to report in, because there are a couple things we talked about last time, that there were two things that I did not get to do on this last trip.
Okay.
One is we did not stay late enough to see the Epcot Forever show. Mm-hmm. So I'm still in the dark as to what the big mystery is. But I'm trying to hold to not watch it on YouTube and just wait till I see it in person. But they've screwed it up, Glenn, because now on Fridays and Saturdays, like I said before, with the ending of Illuminations, it's not until 10, and I can't. It sounds like I'm whining, but just with the little kids, we don't want to keep them out that late. So I don't know when I'm going to get to see this, but I'll hold it for that. So
okay,
there
are people that literally are coming to me screaming, wanting to know what you think about
Well, they're just gonna have to be in suspense a little while longer.
Man.
Well, what would you rather I do with this one? I didn't watch on YouTube because I'm like, well, I want to wait for like the real experience to see if it plays any different in person. I guess not, because you said people were upset that did see it in person. So I don't know.
Well, no. So the reactions the first night were of the Disney community that watched it online because they had the big production, right? So what you see there is very slanted and very critical. For the people who were there that first night and nights after, they enjoyed it. They enjoyed the show. They enjoyed the music, everything. Like, they didn't really have any issues. It's really the Diz Twitter and stuff that that lost their minds.
All right. Well, I'm gonna try and hold up and see it in person.
This episode is sponsored by ParkLeap. Do you hate waiting in lines for your favorite rides at Disney World, Universal, and Disneyland? Of course you do. Everyone does. ParkLeap tracks current wait times for attractions in real time, analyzes them, and gives you immediate guidance on what to ride now and what to skip for a shorter wait later on. ParkLeap saves you time so you can do more, see more, and ride more. Many theme parks provide their own apps, which is great, but they only report the times. You only get information, you don't get guidance. Is that 40-minute wait good or bad? ParkLeap can tell you. ParkLeap also includes an interface that is clean, quick, and easy to use. Many vacationers travel to multiple theme parks. Now one app does it all. Whether you're a local resident and annual pass holder, or travel great lengths once a year or every few years, you want to make the most of your time and money. This is the app to get to help you do that. Get ParkLeap in the Apple App Store. And thank you to ParkLeap for sponsoring Starport 75.
So there's that, and then the other thing I didn't get to do, and I've been really dreading bringing this up to have this conversation with you. And I was kind of hoping I would just run out of tape before we got there, but so there's this Skyliner thing at Disney World. Have you heard about this thing?
So what is that?
Yeah, it's a new ride technology they've put up. They got a whole bunch of these cars, and people were liking them, and people riding them said some people I know in person, people I know personally said that they actually preferred it to a monorail because it was because it's kind of serene and relaxing.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah, when it works, apparently.
What?
So, I mean, we're not going to be breaking any news here. I think it was all over the Disney news, but so go ahead and gloat about how these are such a terrible idea.
Well, as you said, we missed the cycle on this because we recorded our last episode like 2 days before it happened, and that's all I could think about when it was happening. I'm like, oh my goodness, we just had an episode. Why did we hold off and we could talk about it now?
We should have done like a breaking news kind of thing.
Yeah, actually, we probably should have. So anyway, but it's up and running again. Passengers are back on it as of a couple days ago.
Yeah, and it's like mid-October now. Are you surprised at all that they are you surprised either direction that it was down as long as it was, or that it's back up as soon as it is? Like,
yes, I'm surprised it's back up as soon as it is.
Me too. I thought I don't know why I thought. I mean, obviously they're burning a lot of cash on that thing, so they need to get it.
Well, and I think that's it. It's a PR nightmare now,
right?
So they needed to get it up as soon as possible so that they could show that, oh, hey, look, it's back up and running, and there's no problems now and everything else. But man, look, for it to have that issue, not even a week in operation, that is bizarre. I mean, that is wild. And and it seemed like they were testing it for months, right? I mean,
right. Well, and the other thing is that this isn't unique technology. This isn't like a monorail that isn't running somewhere. I mean, these are relatively off the shelf kind of conveyances that that are used in other parts of the world. So,
all right. So here's my take on it: is like anything, even if you're on the monorail, it stops every now and then. They have to do a brake check. They have to, whatever. They have to wait for put another train on the track, whatever. So you're sitting in. I've been in monorails where we've sat there for 10 minutes, whatever, 15 minutes
Sure.
while something happened. And, it's inconvenient, but you're sitting there or standing there, but there's air conditioning going and,
All right.
The issue is not that it stopped, but that it stopped for 3 hours and there was no, the main things. There was no communication to the guests to let them know what was going on, how long they, were planning on them being up there, no communication about any kind of rescue plan. There was just no communication. And apparently what they've done is, that's one of the changes they made is now they do have a communication plan in place if this happens again. Okay.
Well, what is that? Because and kind of to the conversations we had before, again, my friend Andrew and I were talking about these. He rode them, and I think he learned some things about how they work. But remember, we talked about like, why is there no air conditioning and stuff, and we talked about, a lot of the ride seems silent, where you'd think they would have pipe music or whatever. But apparently these are unpowered cars is the real thing. Like, so they can't have.
Well, I mean, there's power, there's lights in them.
But it seems like it's some sort of battery system, because there's no, at least, and I'm trusting my friends relaying the facts here, but from what I understand, there's no power on the line as they go. So whatever they have run, and whatever the loop is of the recordings that they do play, it seems like there's some sort of battery system that's doing that. And
yeah,
I guess
I can see that.
Whatever. So anyway, my point being, like, I'm wondering if that, and not as an excuse, but just as a fact, if that's what, because what they needed to have, like on the monorail, when it stops, there's an announcement, and even the monorail driver can get on and just talk to the people, tell them what's happening. Yeah. But it doesn't seem like, because they're not powered, not with AC, that sort of intercom sort of announcement kind of thing isn't available. But I don't know, what did they announce what their communication plan is?
I think they're going to use the speaker that's in every car and let people know what the status is.
But why wouldn't they have done that? Like, I mean,
That's
if that were technically capable, like, it's like, okay, let's get, Julie on the microphone and tell people not to freak out and jump out into the water. Like, but I mean, so I'm wondering if there was a technical limitation that they had to add or something. Like, I don't know. But again, and maybe you and I are just really smart and I'm giving people too much credit, but wouldn't if you're planning a system like this, wouldn't you plan for that eventuality? Like, something's going to happen at some point, right? Where you're going to have to communicate with the people riding through the thing. Right. Like,
well, they have a generic, so just like, a ride breakdown, they have a generic recording that says, oh, your flight has been interrupted.
Yeah.
So they have that going, but there was no real time information to say, hey, look,
I wonder if if they will have. I wonder if did they say real time? Because I wonder if what they'll do instead is just have additional loops that they put on there to, what I'm saying, like generic. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Hey, now it's time to break out the emergency kit and use the poop bags if you need to.
Right,
that kind of thing.
So, I don't know what it is, but what they report is they do have a better communication plan in place.
All right.
But I mean, 3 hours. 3 hours of being stuck in this little cabin with 9 other people. People you don't even necessarily know. Or
you do know and don't want to be with them.
Or who know, and you've spent the whole day at Epcot with them, and you're ready to not be with them. So, it's I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody would argue that's acceptable. What I'm curious about is, because they've made no formal declaration of what the problem was, right?
They did not.
They kind of fudged it a little bit, and like they never called it an accident. It was whatever euphemisms, and it's a delay, whatever euphemisms they used, which I'm kind of surprised about, because I mean, we talked before about going on it, and I almost need that reassurance to, like, okay, explain to me what the problem was and tell me how that's not going to be a problem again,
right?
Or you just like, it could happen again, but we don't think so. Like where is it in that spectrum of things? But
or it could happen again, but we know how to handle it, and we'll get it going a lot quicker next time.
Well, I mean, And they did practice for this. I mean, there's lots of video and photos that, with the Reedy Creek Fire Department before this thing opened, that they did lots of practicing of rescuing people from it. So they did plan for this. I wonder if it's just one of those things that nobody kind of expected. So they just I don't know. It just seems to me an event like that, like communicating to the people involved is the first thing you think of doing. Like, okay,
right.
And especially as soon as you say, okay, we're going to have to, use the fire trucks to get them down, you think somehow you're like, okay, well, go buy in a helicopter and start dropping leaflets or something. I don't know.
So the evacuation, was it, I mean, I don't know, but was it, occasionally we might have to go and get the 10 people out of this one car because, and not that they have to evacuate the whole line. Because apparently even when they're, rescuing the people, they can only take 2 people down at a time too.
Right.
So it takes 5 trips if the car's full to empty one car.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, you and I have dealt with enough technology that you gotta figure at some point. Well, what if we lose all power? What if there's a natural disaster and we have no, and the generators run out of diesel or what? I don't know. You got to figure.
I know.
And you may just say, well, look, that will likely never happen. So if it takes us 5 trips to get people down from a car, then that's what we'll do.
Yeah. I mean, they have a whole boat for the part that goes over the lake. They have a boat built for it.
Did they have to do that, or this line didn't? Because I never saw anybody mention anything about being over water or being rescued to one of those boats. So I guess that wasn't involved in this.
Oh yeah, that line. It was only the line from Epcot to the Riviera.
Oh, well, that's fortunate because that would have been even a bigger.
Yeah, it very well could have been
brouhaha,
a bigger problem.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. 3 hours does seem like but I don't even know the exact timeline. Like whether, what am I trying to say? Like it took 2 hours for them to decide to start pulling people down. Like did they want to try and work the problem first, and then the last hour was getting everybody out? I don't know.
Yeah, they had only gotten to a few cars because and then they finally got it rolling very slowly again, and that's how the majority of people got off. But. Yeah. So there was even, it was like, okay, well, I guess we got to start getting people off, but they were still working on the problem too.
Yeah. Yeah. And it bugs me that they haven't really said, cause not that you like accidents, but if it were a bus accident, the NTSB would probably be involved and there'd be some sort of formal declaration of this is what happened and this is why it's not going to happen again, which is why you have groups that do that.
Yeah.
So it's a little unnerving that it's all kind of under covers with Disney on, what happened and what they've done about it. I got to put some faith in that, but I think I'm going to let it run a little while, let it burn in a little bit more before.
That might be the wise decision. Yes.
But
and you might want to try it during a cool time of the year as well for your first time. I mean,
I'll go in February.
No, I mean, seriously, and that's what they were saying is because the temperatures during the day that day were like high 80s, and it happened.
It was
at
like
9 at night or something.
Yeah, well, so it was like freezing.
So it was freezing. But I mean, there's no air, the breeze. You're just sitting up there. I would have gone out of my mind.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean,
but what are you going to do?
Because I don't like heights in the first place. Like, I just wanted to take a fun little ride for, a 5-minute ride for God's sake.
Yeah, but you can't go out of your mind, especially if you have your family there. I mean, what are you going to do? You got nothing to do but just kind of sit and stay calm.
Yeah, but, and then when nature calls, hey guys, I'm pulling out the baggie.
No, that's where it's lucky to be a man, and then you just you
I gotta crack the door open here, guys.
Although they already have the windows there.
That's fine. True. That's true.
Anyway, that took a bad turn.
Yeah.
What is the best explanation you heard about what the perceived problem was? Because it looked to me like the actual start of the problem was there were like 4 cars that all got jammed up at the station, but no real explanation as to why, right?
Yeah, so what happened was if you look at the pictures, there's a blue car, right? That car, the whole line had to stop. It has to stop for, if there's a family taking too long or whatever. I mean, it does have to emergency stop.
Sure.
Just like Peter Pan's flight does. And,
every ride.
It happens, right? Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So it stopped. That car was about to get on the catch to head on up, but it was in the exact perfect storm spot to where when they flipped the switch to start it back up, it didn't catch.
Oh.
And so it stayed there, and the cars behind it just kept running into it and then running into each other until they shut the whole thing down. But then they couldn't figure out, okay, well, how do we get, because everything was jammed up at that point, how do we solve the problem and get that off, because it's not catching, so we need to get the car off. And apparently there's a spur that's intended for this, to pull a car off, and get it out of the line of traffic. Mm-hmm. But I think I could this may be where I'm wrong, but I think it was just past that. So like they had to back those other 3 or 4 cars that ran into it up to get it off the line, and then they had to get those cars going and on the line and spaced out properly.
It seems bizarre though. I mean, you could see, I don't know any of the mechanics of the thing, but it seems to me like that kind of situation, you'd be like, okay, maybe it takes them a half an hour to figure that out, to clear the jammed cars and get the thing running again. But like something must have been really concerning to them to not start it up. Or I guess you're saying they couldn't get it unjammed or something is kind of the problem.
Yeah.
Huh. I don't know. Well, if there is a positive side to it, nobody got hurt. Right. So that's
right. No, absolutely.
Right. So that's at least a positive there. A lot of frustration. But what do you think about Disney's mea culpa on that? They gave people what, like four passes and $200, something like that.
Well, it was a pass, either 1 or 2 tickets per person, and then $100 gift card per person.
I heard it was 200. But okay.
Well, if you had 2 people with you.
No, yeah, I can do math. I understand how math works.
So it just, I mean, I don't think that's enough personally, but that's just me.
Oh yeah, what
for being stuck up there?
This will be fun. Let's play another one of those games. I like to do. So let's say you've been up there. You've been up there 3 hours with your wife. We'll make it a little bit easier. Let's pretend you didn't have any other people in your car, just your family. Mm-hmm. What gift from Disney would have made you feel like, all right, well, I'm not angry about it, but at least this makes it better. Like, where's the line for you between that's kind of insulting and okay, that's fine. Like a DVC membership, like how high does it have to go?
Like at least a ticket and like $500.
Wow. Okay.
Or like a 4-day ticket and the $100.
I see. Glenn, do you have any idea how much we spent to put in this thing, and now you want more money from us?
Exactly. Yes.
I wonder who got to tell Bob, Mr. Iger, like, hey, Mr. Iger, listen, you got 5 minutes? Just something I need to update you on. That Skyliner thing? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not going so good.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, I know. It's just happening so quick after the opening.
I know.
That really did not help it at all. It really is making people take a second. They're thinking twice about going up on that thing.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's actually in Disney's better interest to explain what happened, so that everybody could feel, okay, well, I see. That's not that. And now, because once you understand something, I think just as human beings, you're like, okay, and here's what we've done to take care of it. Then people would be less worried about it. But I'm going to assume their PR machine knows how things run, and they just go, look, just at a year from now, nobody will care, and they'll go, oh, remember that time, and that'll be it. So, whatever. I'll say though, and you can mock me, I'm still bullish on these things. I still think. I'm never going to ride one, but I think I still think.
No, actually, I heard just like Andrew said, like it's a very peaceful, very quiet ride. From what I've seen on the YouTubes, it's very peaceful. It looks really cool.
Yeah, well, especially when they don't move. It's very serene up there.
it's just the unknown, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. And okay, so let's just pretend the same thing happens on the monorail, right? The monorail's stuck. All the monorails are stuck. There's 4 monorails on a line, right? So if you have to go and rescue people, number one, you got air conditioning going for the 3 hours you're up there. But
maybe I've been on many monorails that don't. But
all right. But they also have a little train that can come out and pull the monorail trains to the next station, and so everybody can get out. But barring all that, they can still drive the truck underneath it and rescue people from one train all at one time. They don't have to get 10 people out, drive a little further, but put down the stakes and everything else, lift the thing, get 10 more people out, get down in the truck, drive it a little bit further.
Yeah.
It's all in one place. So, the likelihood of that happening, well, I mean, but if in the monorails
first
have been going for, almost 50 years and we haven't had that issue.
Yeah. More people have died on monorails than Skyliners, though, at this point. But
at this point, yeah. I guess it's 1-0. So
gruesome. Anyway, but I guess we've never had that sort of dramatic rescue. Like they haven't had to pull people out the top of the monorails, right? Because there's that escape hatch on the top that people can. Like they've never had to do that, as far as I know, right?
Well, they did have I think they did have a fire once, but
at Disney World.
Yeah, they got everybody. Yeah, at Disney World. Okay. But they got everybody out.
Like they went actually through because I've looked at that hatch and go like, there's no way I can get up there unless there's like a ladder that pops down or something. I guess. But
I think where it is, you would use the
seats.
The seats, and then how it goes up.
Yeah,
I think you just climb up that way.
Oh, I see. Hey, speaking of that, by the way, I'm sure you have. You've seen the pictures of the other monorails they've redone. So like green has green stuff, and like they're all color coded. It's kind of cool.
And like we talked before on this podcast, it's nice. I mean, I'm glad they're doing that, and like we've said before, the maintenance people, the people keeping these monorails up, I think they truly take a lot of pride in their work, and they do as good of a job as they can. And I think Disney's funneled a little bit of money into it because they know they're not replacing them, so which is depressing. So yeah, it's great, it's awesome. I do like it. I like that it's color coded now. That's really cool. But it's just a stake in the heart that it's clear that we're not getting any monorails at any time.
I'm going to be optimistic as somebody that deals with budgets and stuff, and I guess you do too in your job. I'm hoping it's one of these things that like we just can't do it in fiscal year X, but we'll put it in the budget for fiscal year Y. Yeah, and hopefully they get back to it later. Because I mean, at some point you have to replace those. They can't, or you just take it down and put Skyliners everywhere. I
mean, it's 1991 they came on the line, so
but we don't. But we don't know how many of those parts have been replaced over there. I mean, I'm sure major portions of all the trains have been replaced. So whatever.
Still, almost 30 years.
Anyway, so I'll still go on the Skyliner. I still think in the end it's I also wonder like if a lot of that time was just like waiting for the representative from the company that built the thing, because you got to Disney didn't build it, they contracted out, right? And if Jim showed up and he's like, guys, all you have to do is like flip these 3 switches in this order, boom, 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 and then you unjam it. And so they go, oh, and it's like, it's right here in the manual in page 612. You didn't see that?
Right.
You know what I mean? But I could see it
honestly,
being something
I think you're probably
the people who built it
right on.
Yeah, like the people who built it know that this can happen, and here's what you do in this case. But maybe the people operating it that time of night just didn't. I don't know. Who knows?
That's a very, very, very good
point. Pulling things out of here. Anyway, all right. Well, I was not looking forward to that conversation with a lot of neener. Here's
no. I'm trying to be practical, but at the end of the day, people were stuck up there for a long, unreasonable amount of time in a small capsule, dangling over, roadways, and I mean, that's just unacceptable. They gotta get their stuff together, man.
Yep.
For people to trust it. I mean, I think everybody wants to ride it, and the videos I've seen of it looks great. I was hyped up I said that on our last episode. Sure. I'm hyped up to ride it, but honestly now, I'll let it.
Would you?
I'm not going to rush down. Let's say you were going to other people be the guinea pigs first.
Well, I was going to say, let's say you're going to be here next week with your family. Would you go on it?
No, next week, absolutely not. But,
really?
Yeah, but
well, what's the right amount of time though?
Well, I'll be there in January, so
but sometime greater than now and less than January.
Yeah, right. We'll see what happens from now until 4 months or so.
Well, you know what? for the benefit of our families, we should probably have a pack that you and I can't go on it at the same time. Just
so we're like the president and vice president.
Exactly. I'll be vice president.
We need a designated survivor.
Yeah, exactly. All right. No, I'm still gonna go one of these days. I just have no reason to ride it, so I kind of have to go out of my way to. Well, you would too, I guess, but
yeah,
we'll get there. All right. Is that enough Epcot? I'm going to have to talk about Epcot one more time, but I probably won't have that much to update. I'll be like, ooh, I got my $400 coasters for free.
That's fine. We'll dig up some stuff to talk about. Maybe we'll do a history episode or, we'll have better information. But this was good because it was another.
Oh, I forgot the most important part of the day, though.
Oh, what's that?
I picked up some merchandise with the
Did you?
With the new
What?
Epcot logo on it. Yeah. It's expensive, man.
No.
Because what did I get? I got 2 shirts, 2 hats, so you and I can be twinsies, and 1 mug, 1 bottle, whatever they call the thing. Not a mug, a water bottle.
Yeah.
That thing's enormous. You could fit like a swimming pool's worth of water in that thing.
Is it? Because it doesn't look.
Yeah, it's pretty substantial. So I didn't get one for myself. But then over the weekend, I was doing something. I said to my wife, I said, man, if I had one of those Epcot things here right now, it'd be perfect. Anyway, yeah, I got all those things, and even with the pass holder discount, the cast member told me the total. I'm like, say what now? How
is that
much?
In pesos?
Why is that in 3 digits and they're so high? It almost started with a 2. Wait, think about it. The water bottle's $40.
I know,
right?
I know.
The shirts.
Tell me how much it all is, because I need to.
You're getting an invoice. Yeah, you're getting an expense report.
I have shipping too. It's not even Amazon.
So shirts were probably just about 40, and the hats were probably 20, 25. What? So
you tell me. I don't know.
It's in a bag somewhere.
But yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
So 80 plus 50 is 120 plus another 40. Yeah. So right. So I think he told me like $160 or something with tax and all. Like, wow. Glenn's gonna owe me a lot of money.
Yeah, he is.
Anyway, so I got that. I wish they had more stuff. They didn't have. That's all they pretty much had.
Yeah.
I think they had something else. I'm like, but it was. They had. I'm really surprised I don't like it. They had the shirts that have like the. Remember the original graphic of like the kind of. I don't know how to describe it. Spacey looking thing.
Yeah.
I like that graphic, but I don't like it on the shirt for some reason. So
I'm exactly the same, because when I was looking it up to tell you what to get me, I saw that. I'm like, nah, like I'm not. It doesn't really do it for me. And you know what does it for me for all of that is for all the other merchandise are the dots. I love the colored dots.
I say, and in isolation, looking at the colors they chose, it seemed, and like when they started to paint, and now they're actually. I'm sure you've seen photos of it, so nothing new to tell you. But on the fences they have covering all the construction and stuff. Now they have the big logo and like major like stripes painted with those colors and stuff
for selfies.
And for selfies, and but like you see those colors in isolation, and it's like, oh, really? That's kind of a bright pink, and it's not what I think of as Epcot. But when you see it all together, especially at the Epcot Experience Center where all that kind of stuff comes together, man, I am really, whoever's leading the charge on sort of the rebranding and refreshing of Epcot, kudos to them, man. It just, I don't think they could do a better job than they're doing with the vibe they're creating for the park and using those kind of 80 vibrant colors. Because, Epcot was always kind of muted and kind of, blues and grays and kind of white, which was fine, huh? And
a lot
purples,
of purples,
yeah, purples, which was kind of futuristic for the time that it was made, but now is sort of, I don't know. I just think they've struck a really nice balance of it's retro and modern at the same time, and I don't know how you achieve that, but I really like it. I was wishing they had more things with the logo on it I could buy, but that's all they have.
Just wait, Chris. Just wait. They're listening. They'll
that's
don't
fine.
worry about that.
They
will find it as many ways as possible to get that money.
Because last time you mentioned there were some notebooks, but I didn't see those there. All literally.
Oh my goodness, the notebooks. Oh, they're probably sold out. Oh my God, that's the thing. That's what I wanted. Oh, I forgot.
You better appreciate what you got.
Oh my God, absolutely. But I'm 100% sure that those things sold out like immediuting.
Yeah, but I'm hoping they restock. That's what we talked about.
If they do restock them, then I'll send you some more.
Well, I'll be back. Like I said, I'm going back again this weekend. So go in there one more time. But yeah, I don't know what else I'd want it on. Oh well, no, I take it back. I wish they had just like a regular coffee mug. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
To weigh down your cabinets a bit more. I'm surprised they didn't have that at all. So anyway,
Just wait.
Hopefully more's coming. I also didn't see that shimmery jacket you mentioned last time, which is fine. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
anyway.
that was sold out, but that's I don't know
I don't know how you sell out of notebooks. That's something that's like easy to stock up on, and you got to figure they're going to go super fast. So hopefully they get more.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't even use notebooks anymore, but I just want.
I know. The real quick, changes they're making to Epcot. I think that you're going. Sorry, let me back up. Animal Kingdom, they added Pandora, right?
Yeah.
Hollywood Studios, they added Galaxy's Edge, and they're doing the Toy Story Land and the Chinese Theater, right? Magic Kingdom, they did New Fantasyland, and they're doing Tron and some other stuff. But I think that Epcot will be the place that you see the changes the most. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
And so with the branding and
well, you know why? Because it's
design,
almost a complete like a do-over.
Yeah,
like it's like the other things are additions to those parks, but
right.
This is a reframing of the park.
Yeah, it is.
Right? So
and I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
At this point, it's better than what it was and just letting it go as it was.
It's only one thing that still drives me crazy about it.
Uh-oh. What's that?
I don't know why they're leaving one of the Communicore buildings up. That really is making me nuts.
Well, if you go back, so here's the stinky part of all this is if you go back to the original concept art that they had 2 years ago or last year.
They were both gone.
They were gone, but apparently because of budget changes,
I don't believe that.
There's
some other reason.
They're leaving one of the buildings.
There's some other reason.
Okay.
Can't just be called. I mean, I don't know. That's like saying, we're already spending $1 billion. We can't spend another $1 million on it. Like it doesn't seem to scale.
That point. No, you say that, but that's exactly right.
All right. So you say.
Because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any logical sense.
It's just like it's unbalanced. Like all the other, the studios isn't really that balanced, but the other parks are kind of balanced in their layout. That's going to be
in their layout. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So I don't know. I'm sure I'll get used to it. Whatever. I'm curious about because it kind of what am I trying to say? They're kind of turning the park into kind of like the event center, right? I mean, we already have like the 3 major festivals and things.
Yeah.
It just makes me wonder what's kind of the long term. And they may not have one yet, but what the long term idea is for Future World for like Mission Space and living with the land and stuff, because they almost start to not fit anymore. That sort of story of what Epcot is at that point. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the way they framed it so far, a world of discovery, like that can mean anything,
true.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're discovering how to go to Mars. You're discovering how to drive a car. Discovering Guardians of the Galaxy. So it's like, all right. And then what's the other side? I forget it.
I don't know.
Yeah, anyway.
Side A, Side B, and World Showcase.
Yeah. So hopefully
it's World Nature, right? World for like the Moana stuff.
Oh, that makes sense, right.
Be.
The seas and land and imagination.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean they crafted they wove a story out of it.
Fine line.
But. Yeah, and by the way, it's not world of, it's just world thing.
Okay.
You gotta say it right.
World of color.
I really do like the. I'm hoping my hopes are not getting too high for it, but I'm looking at all these things going, man, if this looks like they're saying it's going to look, this will become my favorite park. Like,
yeah, sure,
all the time. So
I hope it does, man.
Yeah. All right. So I'll report back after my next trip to Epcot.
Yay!
I don't even want to think about how much money I've spent at Epcot in the last month.
You can only blame me for last week.
And only part of it. I mean, we still did food and wine, and I bought other stuff. It adds up fast.
Yeah, it does.
Anyway, that's
all
it.
Right.
You got to pay them so they can fix the Skyliner.
That's right.
All right. Well, we'll talk about Epcot again next time.
Sounds good.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Starport 75. Follow Chris on Twitter and Instagram at CBGray. And Glenn on Twitter and Instagram at DizWiz. Follow the show on Twitter and Facebook
at Starport75 and Instagram at TheStarport75. For all things related to the show, including show notes and links to connect with us, visit us at starport75.com.